Greetings of the day, dear students. In this class, we are going to discuss the next topic mentioned in your syllabus, that is biodegradable and non-biodegradable solid waste. The previous class we have discussed the major sources and types of solid waste, and we have discussed the need and importance of solid waste management. And in the previous paper, environmental microbiology, we have discussed what are biodegradable waste and what are the role of microbiology for the biodegradation of complex waste such as xenobiotics. And biodegradable materials are a material which can be decomposed by the bacteria or other natural organism and not be adding to the pollution. So biodegradable materials are the material which are decomposed by the microorganisms, especially bacteria, and not be adding to the pollution. And biodegradable waste are the waste material which are and can be degraded by the waste which can be degraded by natural factors such as microbes, that is bacteria, fungi, and a lot of other organisms, or abiotic elements like temperature, UV radiation, oxygen, etc. These are biodegradable waste, the waste which can be degraded by natural means or abiotic environment. Examples: food materials, kitchen waste, and other natural waste. The microorganisms and other abiotic factors which act on the complex waste material and break down this complex waste material into simpler organic forms which can be suspended and fed into the soil. So this is the major mode of degradation of waste material, especially solid waste material. The microorganisms which are abiotic factors, which are complex substances, will be broken into simpler organic components which are eventually suspended and fed into the soil. The whole process is natural, that can be rapid or slow process. The environmental issues and risk that is caused by the biodegradable wastes are low. Okay, the environmental issues and the risk that is caused by the biodegradable waste are very, very low. And there is a huge dumping and massive accumulation of waste materials are happening, which can contribute some threat to the life as soon as or later in the later period of time. Then to avoid this waste material, especially the biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste, can be employed by a major method called as composting, and another method is known as landfill. Okay, to avoid this problem, some people in some countries they practice composting. In composting, the biodegradable waste are dumped into a pit and covered for a very long period. Due to the action of microorganisms, they will decompose and will be used as a fertilizers or manure for the cultivation of agricultural crops. And this will reduce the amount of waste by a process called landfill. Okay, so this will reduce the amount of waste by a process called or technique known as landfill. Then the biodegradable waste are, it is a type of waste that is originated from plants or animal sources which may be degraded by other living organisms such as bacteria, fungi, actinomyces and algae. Then this biodegradable waste can be found in municipal solid waste as green waste, that is food waste, paper waste and biodegradable plastic waste. And the biodegradable waste includes the human waste, manure, sewage, slaughterhouse wastes, agricultural wastes, etc. And the non-biodegradable waste, these are the non-biodegradable materials this is also a kind of substance which cannot be degraded by natural organism and act as a source of pollution. So the non-biodegradable material that survive this ecosystem for a very long time and a kind of substance which cannot be broken down by natural organism. Unlike biodegradable waste, non-biodegradable waste cannot be easily degraded and handled. The non-biodegradable waste, those who cannot be decomposed or dissolved by natural agents. So this kind of waste materials are known as non-biodegradable waste. Those waste which cannot be decomposed by the action of microorganism or dissolved or decomposed by the natural agents. So they remains on the earth and the ecosystem for several years without any degradation, and they will cause several threat and in the food chain and food web, and that causes lot of problem to the ecosystem, the aquatic ecosystem, lithosphere, hydrosphere, and that constitute the biomagnification. Example, plastics, especially microplastic, nowadays the most potential problem worldwide. And the plastic, which are a commonly used material in every field, that is known as non-biodegradable waste, such as polyethylene glycol, polyethylene propylene, okay, low density polyethylene, high density polyethylene, etc. So to give this plastic a long lasting effect, improved quality plastics are being put to use. Okay, so this particular plastics are long lasting effect. They have improved the quality of the plastic by several methods that also contribute the threat to the non-biodegradation. And this made them more temperature resistant or more durable even after the use. Okay, so when you are adding additional substance, the quantity of the plastics, okay, this made them more temperature resistant and more durable even after the use. Example, cans, metals, chemicals for agricultural and industrial purpose. And they are the major cause of air, water and soil pollution and the diseases like cancers. And the non-biodegradable waste are not eco-friendly and they cause so many problems and they need to be replaced by standard methods. And as a part of the developments of alternatives, scientists have tried their level best to forward many ideas like biodegradable plastics. Okay, so the biodegradable plastics, such as the plastic, they are obtained from microorganisms. So they incorporated some biodegradable materials with plastics and made them easily and rapidly degradable. So they incorporate to the conventional plastic, they include some biodegradable material with the plastics and made them easily and rapidly degradable. And this is quite an expensive process. Then the non-biodegradable waste, the waste cannot be decomposed by the biological agent or the process is known as non-biodegradable waste. Most of them are inorganic waste and they are non-biodegradable. And this non-biodegradable waste can be recycled and that can be used as recyclable waste. and those which cannot be recycled are known as non-recyclable waste. So this non-biodegradable waste, based on the recycling capacity, they have divided into two groups. One is recyclable waste, next one is non-recyclable waste. Recyclable waste, the waste that can be recycled are known as recyclable waste, and the waste that cannot be recycled are known as non-recyclable waste. And these are the major fundamental difference between biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. So the first one, the degradation process in biodegradable waste is very rapid, but in the case of the degradation waste, rate in the non-biodegradable waste is very slow. Then the biodegradable waste is decomposed and degraded by microorganisms. They can be degraded by several microorganisms such as bacteria, actinomyces and fungi. But non-biodegradable waste cannot be decomposed by the microorganism. Then here the biodegradable waste are not accumulated but are used up in a short time. The biodegradable waste are not accumulated, they are used for a short time. But non-biodegradable waste often accumulate and they are not used for a short time. And the biodegradable waste become part of biogeochemical cycles and give back rapid turnover. The biodegradable waste become a part of biogeochemical cycles that gives the rapid turnover. The most of the non-biodegradable waste never enters in the biogeochemical cycle, and they are very slow to degrade, and they are very toxic, such as polychlorinated biphenyl we have already discussed. Then the next one is the biodegradable waste are used to produce energy, manure, compost and biogas. But in the case of non-biodegradable waste can be separated and recycled, but the process is very expensive. We can make use of this we can produce biogas or bioenergy or other useful items, but you need to segregate this waste material and recycle it first, and this method is very expensive. And what are the effects of this waste material on this ecosystem? This we have been discussing. What are the effects of this biodegradable or especially non-biodegradable waste? The waste quantities are growing in all the country around the world due to the accumulation of biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. Every year millions of tons of waste are generated, and these waste are the result of activities in our homes, business, industries, and disposal of all this large amount of an enormous environmental problem with many dimensions. The municipal, industrial, agricultural solid waste and biomass deposit causes large scale pollution of land and water. The municipal, industrial, agricultural solid waste and biomass deposit, which causes large amount of pollution and which uses the land and water. The generation of waste causes a loss of material and energy and increases the environmental cost on society for its collection, transport, treatment and the disposal. So generation of waste, a loss of material and energy and increase the environmental cost on the society for collection, transport, treatment and the disposal. And another important thing, the impact of landfills and incinerations are significant because their potential use for greenhouse gas emissions such as methane, carbon dioxide and transboundary migration of organic micropollutants such as dioxin, furans and volatile heavy metals. This is very important. Okay, the impact of landfills and incineration, that's also excellent method, but they have significant problem. Then these two are the major waste material treatment, and but it contribute greenhouse gas emission and transboundary migration of organic micropollutant from phase to phase in the ecosystem. they contribute dioxin and furans. The problems with waste are old as the human race. So the problems with the waste are as old as the human race. Generally, it was a very ancient time, approximately 500 BC. The first municipal dump was, treated in Athens in Greece, where the regulations required waste to be dumped at least a mile from the city limit and covered with the soils. Okay, and there was protocol, but it required, a stringent guidelines until industrialization of the society waste, which was mostly organic, so they can be decomposed naturally. So most of the they're mostly the major effect the industrialization, urbanization and development of consumer society. Large amount of waste are increasing every day by day. So these are the major effects of the waste material on the environment. So then you need to treat the waste material. So it is very very essential to treat whether it is biodegradable or non-biodegradable. They harm to the human life and ruined other organism and the whole ecosystem. There's a proper treatment of waste has to be carried out. So this is not only the responsibility of the government and the responsibility of all the citizens. And when you are treating the waste material, there are three significant R that can be keep it in your mind: recycle, reuse and reduce. Recycle should be recyclable. You can reuse the waste, okay, and you should reduce the waste. So are the simplest step and the motto of wastewater treatment in all the solid waste system. This can be save the energy and other resources as well. So another step to separate the biodegradable waste from non-biodegradable waste at home and dispose them separately safely. So this is all about the biodegradable and non-biodegradable components. The next class we will discuss the major approaches such as landfills and composting as the promising approaches for the biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. That's all, dear students. So now we can conclude. We have discussed the introduction and what are biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. Then what are the non-biodegradable substances? What are the major differences between the biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste? Then what are the major examples? What are the impact of waste material on the environment? And how we will treat this particular waste materials. So these are the references one can use. Okay, thank you very much, dear, for listening this particular class. If you are having any doubts, you can ask me. Thank you very much.